Hi, welcome back to Box to Lights. In this single episode podcast, I want to give you an overview of a game called Serpent's Tongue. It's something very new for the channel. It's something probably new to you guys. It kick-started last year. It's been a long time in the making, but we are now very close to delivery. There's still a chance to pre-order this game, and hopefully this video will give you an idea about whether it's for you or not. First off, let me clarify, this is a print and play version. This is just a little prototype that I've knocked up, and it was downloadable from the designer's website, becomemeiji.com, where you can see samples of the final components. It's designed by Christopher Gabrielson and published by Unbound Games. So prototype pieces, and I'm going to substitute in some components where we need some tokens and chips and so on. This is a walkthrough tutorial which is available from that website for you to download, and I'm going to give you a quick video run through of that walkthrough. It's quite long, so let's crack right onto it. So the idea of this walkthrough is to give you the basic idea of Serpent's Tongue, and we're reenacting a 1 versus 1 training battle with what they call level 1 spells. This is the level down here. It's got a single dot in this little space. Okay, so this is all about casting spells and battling. It's for 1 to 8 players. In this walkthrough, it's a 2-player demo. One player is going to be the black magi and the other white. I'll be black and I'll play the white as well, but let's make this a little bit interactive for you guys. So imagine you're the white player. Play along if you wish. So I've printed off these print and play cards, and I've grabbed some spare components. We've got 1d10, 10-sided dice. We've got 6 tokens here that we're going to use as interrupt stones. And we've got a set of chips here. I'm just using these poker chips for duration, durability, and charge chips. And we've also got some energy stones here. When you get the game in production quality, you'll have an energy tracker. I'm just going to use these little stones here to represent the energy. First off, we sort these spells into their spheres of reality. Black Magi is going to use all the forces and bio spells, and the White Magi all the matter and soul spells. And this is this symbol in top left, the sphere of reality. And each Magi is going to take these, and this is going to go into a book. Now, I don't have a book, I'm just going to use these in a stack, but you're going to get in the final production version kind of a faux leather book. Looks really neat. Have a look on their website, and this becomes your codex. Okay, these spells are double-sided. We need to keep them image side up. The Magi are never allowed to look at the reverse side. This is the inscription side, so once play begins, we're not allowed to look at that side of the card. Each player starts with 7 essence. I'm going to use these blue stones. So 7 for me and 7 for you. And each player takes a focus gem. So I'll take this one, and you can have this one, which I've nicked out of the Forbidden Island game. And each Magi needs 3 interrupt stones. So we're going to use these white chips, these white poker chips. Delivered among your possessions was also the following letter, folded and sealed. The essence of it is that we are a Magi, and throughout the course of playing this game, we're going to have to learn, research, and actually vocalize those magic spells. So to cast these spells, we're going to be speaking these words, okay? And it's a language that the designers have developed into this game. Quite a unique thing for a game. There is a trading card element, and that trading card element reflects the way that you as a Magi can perform research and develop your skills and learn new spells by finding or buying those cards. But you don't need them, and this is one of the things about this game, is that it comes with a core set with everything you need, and you're always limited by your codex. You know, you can't have tons of level 5 spells or and no level 1s. You have to have a mixture. There's a limit. So even if you're somebody who goes out and buys more cards, develops new spells, you're not necessarily going to outperform people who just have the core set. It just adds variety. Each round always begins with a resonance roll. We roll the 10-sided die just once, and then both of us gain resonance according to the following chart. So we would each start with 3 resonance. I'm going to use these clear crystals to represent resonance. So that's 3 for me and 3 for you. Now we have to determine the initiative and the player with the highest amount of harmony. So we've got these things of essence and resonance. There's also harmony and will. The player with the highest harmony first, then resonance, then will normally get to go first. But at level 1 and during this walkthrough, we're not using harmony and will. So let's just roll off to determine who goes first. But let's assume that the white player won the die roll and chose to go second. So I'm going to go first. But as a little bonus for not having the initiative on the first round, the white magi gains 1 resonance. Okay. The second phase is the maintenance phase, when all duration effects are resolved and counted down. You don't know what that means yet, but first the magi with the initiative resolves all their spells in their zones. So there's going to be different zones of play here. And then play switches to the next clockwise player. Remember, you can play 1 to 8. And when you're resolving zones, there's going to be 3 zones. Let me just show you on the picture. And you resolve from furthest away first. So each player has these core 3 zones: attack zone, defense zone, and enhancement zone. And more will be explained about this later. Since this is the first round of play, there's no spells to resolve, so we'll continue on to the third phase, which is spell preparation. This is done simultaneously by all magi by placing spells in the front pocket of their codex. I don't have a front pocket, so I'm just going to use a separate stack. And a magi may prepare up to 3 spells, and you can only cast prepared spells. These prepared spells, they're still considered to be in the codex, but they're in the front of the codex prepared. So as the black magi, I'm going to prepare Fireball and Dissolve Tissue. Okay. You, as the white player, you're going to prepare Pillar of Earth and Acidic Matter. So you need to find those and place them in the front of your codex if you're playing along. So these spells have now been prepared for casting. Now the magic begins. We take turns casting our prepared spells and taking other actions. Each player has a full 2 actions every round. Right, we call this the actions phase. Casting a spell requires a full action unless the card designates that it's a free action. This is an important point to understand, because magi can prepare up to 3 spells, but they'll usually only cast 2, since they've only got 2 full actions. So unless the third spell has a free action empowerment, it just provides an alternative option for your casts. I'm going to go first because I will have the initiative, and for my action I'll meditate to gain 2 resonance. Okay, so one of the actions you can take is meditating. Any magi can spend an action to meditate rather than cast a spell, and this gives you 2 resonance. Now it's your turn, so I've taken an action. It's your turn. If you're playing along, find and pull forth your Pillar of Earth spell. Remember, you're not to look at the back. This is a magical component, and it's used to fuel other spells. And once you find it, what you need to do is hold it up in front of you. And this is the fun bit. We're going to play a little bit of, remember those French lessons at school, écoutez et répétez. You know, you're going to watch the video if you want to play along and kind of say the phrase. That's not French. Right, so I'm going to leave a gap, and you're going to learn how to say this stuff. Right, because we've got to say the spell to cast it. So hold it up in front of you like this. Now looking at the back. And you've got to hold this so that your opponent can see the back. Okay? Because they're going to check what you're saying. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work solitaire. I'm guessing you just have to be fair on yourself. Next thing we'll need is the codex. And this is how we decode this little bit in the bottom right here. Right, the codex is going to be on the inside cover, and the Serpent's key is embossed there into the leather. Now we're going to look at the card's glyph, and starting from the circle, this part, you've got to find the matching space on the Serpent's key in your codex and speak that letter out loud. Okay, let me show you. Here's the Serpent's key. Look at the glyph on the card. And starting from the circle, find the matching space on the Serpent's key. And speak that letter out loud, right? So repeat after me. Pa. Pa. Now we follow the line to the next space. Dal. And then zo. Pa, dal, zo. Pa, dal, zo. Did you get it right? Pa, dal, zo. Now I know this because you're casting this spell and I can see it here, okay? So when you're saying this, I'm looking at the back and I'm saying, did they say it right? Pa, dal, zo. Yes, they did. Great job. We've successfully cast this spell. Remember, these are all level 1, so it gets more complicated than this, but you get the idea. So, Pillar of Earth's been successfully spoken. Now we've got to place it in the correct zone. Pillar of Earth is a component spell, and which is one of the 4 primary spell roles. Remember our zones. Component spells do not often accomplish much by themselves, but rather they are reagents and ingredients to more powerful spells. And components are always placed in the defense zone. Now that you have Pillar of Earth in front of you in your defense zone, turn sideways, you have to activate it. Before it becomes active, however, you've got to pay for any costs or requirements associated with that card. This card generates positive resonance, indicated by the positive number in the blue resonance holder here. If this has a red negative number instead, then you'd have to pay this amount upon activation. If you're unable to pay this amount, then the spell would not activate and it would just be discarded. So you can earn 1 resonance, which you gain now. Okay, well done. Now the turn shifts back to me, the black magi. I've got enough resonance to cast Fireball on you. So I'm going to hold this thing up. I'm going to speak the words of my spell. And I want you to judge my pronunciation by looking at the back of the Fireball spell. So I'm going to try and cast this spell now. Let's see, do we get it right? It's here to here to here. Ki, ta, av. Now you judge, how well did I do? Ki, ta, av. Pretty good, huh? Yeah, I think so. Now the Fireball goes in your attack zone, facing you, it's attacking you. Incidentally, if you do fail to cast the spell, so you trip over your pronunciation, you miscast, then normally you'd lose 1 harmony and everyone else would gain 1 resonance. But as this is a walkthrough, we'll take it easy for now. The Fireball has -5 in its resonance holder, so I've got to pay 5 resonance to activate it. I'll spend my 5 resonance, discard these. In the real game I'd be setting my tracker to 0. And once it activates, it immediately impacts or hits. You've got no defences that will block this forces spell, so it impacts on you directly. And a spell's impact effect and other descriptors are listed out in what's called its aspects list, which is here. Fireball says it deals 2 heat damage. So you've got to move your essence spinner down by 2 on your tracker. Or for us that means we're moving 2 essence tokens. Okay? Spells can have duration, we'll come to that, but for now Fireball doesn't have any duration, so it's now discarded. We'll put this into a discard pile. Now let's see an example of a more complex spell. You're going to attack me with your acidic matter spell. So let's put it forth, and I want you to cast it now. Let's give you a few seconds to work this one out for yourselves. How did you do? You said it yet? It is dal, vad, av. How do we do? Dal, vad, av. We've successfully cast acidic matter. And you're going to place this in my attack zone. Acidic matter has a -3 resonance cost, so you've got to pay this now in order to activate this spell. So that's 3 resonance, you're down to 2. But acidic matter has another requirement in addition to the resonance cost. Requirements field is the line of text that follows the exclamation mark symbol on the card. It'll describe other energies, cards, and conditions that you're required to cast the spell. Acidic matter requires discard matter component. Caster must choose a component from the sphere of matter that he or she controls. And we've got Pillar of Earth. Remember, this is a matter. The sphere of influence here, that red one, is matter. So we discard Pillar of Earth. Now all the requirements have been met. Acidic matter activates. And acidic matter immediately impacts on me. Since I've got no defences, your spell impacts on me directly and causes, let's see, 1 damage. Unless otherwise specified, all damage is to my essence. So now I may remove 1 essence. Well done, guys. But acidic matter has a second difference from fireball. It has a duration. And duration is also specified in the aspects list, as well as the empowerment icon along the left-hand side, shown here as an hourglass icon. When the spell has duration, we need to place that many duration chips on top of it. Remember, I created these little token chips as a custom component. These will be removed once per round during the maintenance phase. And attack spells like this will impact each time a duration chip's removed. So acidic matter will continue to damage me for 2 more maintenance phases. Okay, place shifts now back to me. I've played both my actions now, and we've not prepared any free actions, so that's the end of round 1. Congratulations, we've successfully concluded our first round of Serpent's Tongue. So we start round 2 for rolling for initiative. Remember, we roll the dice, we look at the table to see how much resonance we get. Let's assume you rolled a 4 for resonance. Looking at the table, each of us gets just 2 resonance. So I've got just 2, and now you've got 4. Since you have more resonance than me, you gain the initiative, and therefore you perform your maintenance turn first. You don't have any spells in your zones. Remember, this one here is in my attack zone. You've got nothing to resolve. Now I perform my maintenance. So I begin my maintenance phase by resolving your acidic attack. It applies its core effect on me, a 1 damage matter attack. So I lose 1 essence. And I then remove a duration chip from it. So this spell's now been resolved. I move through my zones closer towards me, my defense zone and my enhancement zone, which contain nothing. Then we move on to spell preparation. Remember, this happens simultaneously, so for demo purposes, you're going to grab air essence and material binding of Malkuth. Okay? And I'm going to prepare both my dissolved tissues. You can have up to 3 copies of each spell in your codex. Now we're into actions. Let's do one more. Let's have you cast Air Essence. Right, I'm going to show you the card. Remember the glyph. Off you go. Okay, done it. Okay, let me have a go. I think it's Vad, Dal, Zo. How did I do? Vad, Dal, Zo. Good stuff. How about you? Get it right? Okay, we've successfully cast Air Essence. I think we're meant to pronounce the vad, not va, var, vod, dal, zo. This is a component spell, so it's placed sideways in your defense zone and then activated, and it's got a positive 1 here, so you gain 1 resonance. For my turn, I'm going to cast Dissolve Tissue. It's an attack spell, and I'm going to try and say it correctly. Ol, Foz, Rock. Ol, Foz, Rock. This is an attack spell, so it's placed in your attack zone. It cost me 1 resonance to activate it. So it immediately impacts you, and it's causing you to lose 1 damage. It says 1 damage. Not that, essence, 1 blue essence. And it's got no duration, so it's immediately discarded. There's no hourglass here. Now it's time for you to do something about my Relentless Assault, and we're now going to ask you to pull forth the material binding of Malkuth and cast it. Okay, have a crack. How did you do? It should be Vard, Pa, Dal. Let's check. Vard, Pa, Dal. Now this spell is a defense spell. It has defense here. So it's got to be placed sideways in your defense zone. You need to place it this way around, with the shield bar facing your opponent, so facing me. And that's so that we can read which spheres this shield blocks. It asks for 2 resonance. I'll grab those from you now. And it asks you to discard a gas component. You cast Air Essence, which is a gas component. So this will be sitting in your defense zone like this, with gas here. So this gets discarded. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it. So this spell now activates, and because of this symbol here with the shields and the number 3, we place 3 durability tokens on it. Spells with durability tokens on them stay active forever as long as they have durability, and shields attempt to block any spell sourced from the spheres specified. In this case, this is a physical shield which blocks the spheres of biomatter and forces. Okay? Each time it blocks an effect, we remove 1 durability chip from it. So if I now cast my other dissolved tissue, all vase. Miscast. Try that again. This is why you've got to practice these things. All vase rock. All vase rock. Yeah, got it right that time. So this spell goes to your attack zone as normal, and I've got to pay the 1 resonance, of course, to activate it. But this time, instead of impacting you directly, your shield is going to block its effect because it's a green bio effect. Okay, the shield stops bios. So rather than doing any damage to you, it simply removes 1 durability chip from your spell. And since dissolved tissue's got no duration, it's immediately discarded. That's the end of round 2. Just as a quick aside, even if dissolved tissue did 5 points of damage, it's still only going to remove 1 durability chip, because it's the durability chips are blocking that spell, not the damage. Okay. This walkthrough's got 3 more rounds, and well, I think the video's gone on long enough for now. If you want to see more, let me know. Otherwise, hopefully this has given you a little bit of a taster, and have a crack yourself, and hopefully rounds 3, 4 and 5 will hold back a few surprises for you if you want to go and print this off, have a little look at the game, and pre-order now. Thanks for watching. We've been playing Serpent's Tongue. See you next time.